to how they used to. Gad will cultivate a portion of the land, and then after a certain time they'll move and go to it, because that was in accordance with the law. How after a certain amount of time, what was it, after
6 years?
After 6 years,
Let the land rest.
let the land rest for the 7th year, and then they'll come back to it. So that way Earth could rejuvenate itself. But these fucking devils are totally against all that, man. And that's why the Earth doesn't reproduce how it used to.
That's where the Earth is rising up against them. And Elder Gabor always uses that analogy of how the devil, Esau, the so-called white man, doesn't give the land its Sabbath. You're supposed after every 6 years that you even animals know that. They'll go and graze in a certain land for a certain period of time, then they'll move on to the next land to let that patch of land rejuvenate itself, and then they'll go in a circle, and then they'll come back around.
Yeah.
Right.
Even the animals are in more order than you so-called white people, you Edomites.
The assertion of Adair that all Indians, particularly the Muskegee, have a sanctum sanctorum,
which is the Holy of Holies,
or most holy place in the manner of the ancient Jews, is fully corroborated. Sorry.
That's all right, brother.
In an edited letter of M.D. Busan, descriptive of a temple of the Natchez, who were a powerful Indian tribe dwelling on the banks of Mississippi.
So now, they had a sanctum sanctorum, which is the most holy place, or the Holy of Holies. Now, there's a scripture on there, right?
Exodus 26 and 33.
Somebody get that. Right? So basically, where the hell did these so-called Indians, as they were called, because they weren't called Indians prior to the Europeans coming here, where the hell did these so-called Indians get the most holy of holies? Where the hell did they get that from? Or maybe somebody came by and drove by on a ship and dropped the Book of Moses on the shore somewhere, and they found it and they read it and they started setting it up like that, right? No, the reason why they were doing that was because the people that were already here are Israelites. And there's many artifacts all throughout Americas that were found, like the Decalogue, which is the 10 Commandments, that was given to Moses to give to Israel, which was more than 10 commandments. But let's just deal with that, because there's a stone that was found in Los Lunas, Mexico, where they had the 10 commandments carved out there in the Lashawan Kodash, or the ancient Hebrew. Where did that come from? Those people that was here had already wrote that out. But what happened was the language became corrupted after a certain period of time.
Right. And if you know the customs of these heathens, like the Moabites, which are the Chinese, the Japanese, or the Mongolians, or whoever, ain't none of them follow those customs. Right. So that bullshit about them being the Asians, that's all bullshit. That's garbage. Right. Show me one gook that has the holy, that deals with all these laws, statutes, and commandments of the ancient Israelites. Not one gook. All right, unless that guy is a descendant of the Israelites. That's the only way. Other than that, no.
That's beautiful, because you know what? You had Israelites that did migrate out there. But as a whole, before any Israelites ever got to there wasn't nobody keeping none of these laws, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures. None of those nations. You got something?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to bring out this point that I had read one time, and it was dealing with the history of the Ammonites. And they had said that how there was one group of Ammonites that always kept like the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay.
So I'll tell you what. Just give me 1 second and let's read this real quick to make the point. No. And if you got something, bring it.
Oh yeah, I got something.
If you got something, bring it out. But I mean, that's a good point the elder brought out. But I want to hit this scripture to finish this point, and then let the brother finish his point, and then we can move on.
All right, Exodus 20. Was that 20? Was it 26 and 13?
33.
33, right.
26, 33.
Come. Exodus 26, verse 33. And thou shalt hang up the veil under the tax, that thou mayest bring in thither within the veil the ark of the testimony. And the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy.
Right, and between the holy place and the most holy. That was given to who? To Aaron and to his, really to Aaron. because only the high priest can go into the most holy of holy. The only ones that could go into the holies was the priest, the Levite priest. But the one that can go into the most holy or the holiest of holy was Aaron or any high priest that was ordained after Aaron. So that shows you that these Israelites back then, they were doing that. And what does that go back to? That goes back to the time of Jeroboam, when he was making of the least of the people priests. So they knew about the customs, and they were going off and doing the customs because only the Levite priests were supposed to do the customs. But if you want to get technical, the scripture said that we're going to be a what? A nation of priests. Get that real quick. You wanted to make that point out?
No, I made that point, but I wanted to bring out this scripture real quick.
Okay, bring it out.
St. John 10:16, that's okay. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring.
Now this is Yahweh Shai speaking. But the elder has a blue letter edition. I said a blue letter edition, a red letter edition Bible. And if you look at it, those verses are written in red.
Yep.
So read it again.
And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, meaning not of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
That's right.
Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
Right, because back then, if you go back into the history in Ezekiel, it tells you that there's not going to be two more nations anymore. There's going to be one nation because the nation was divided. So the Most High had to close up the breaches, as in the ancient times. Actually, not as in the ancient. Well, and as in the ancient times during the time of King David, the Most High had to close up the breaches and bring the tribes back together. Because after that point in time, the tribes were separated. Go ahead.
St. John 7:35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go, that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles?
Right, so now those are the Hellenistas and the Hellenists. Because you had Israelites that were calling themselves Hellenists, and then you had the Jews that were following the Greek customs, which knew they were Jews. They were called Hellenistas. But then you had the Hellenists, which were Israelites that had lost their way, so to speak, like Timothy's father, and they were called Hellenists or Hellenists, which is Greek. So you people don't know, there's a vast history about who the Greeks are. You have Greeks that are Edomites, descendants of Alexander the Crete, which are Edomites, and the rest of them clowns. Then you had Israelites that were called Jews that were speaking the Greek language, but were still following the customs of Israel, which were called Hellenistas. Then you had the Hellenists, which were Israelites that forgot about the customs and so-called religion of their forefathers. Then you had Hamites and other nations that were also called Greeks because they were Hellenized. So you don't know the history of Greek. When you see the word Greek, you automatically think of a white person. Right. You don't understand the history of the Greeks. Right. The history, just the word Greek alone, is a vast history that you can go on for. Just on the word Greek alone, you don't understand. But the battery on the cameras is dying off, and we're gonna end it here. I mean, we would love to keep going, but the battery's dead right now. And what we're gonna do is, Lord's will, we're gonna do a part 2 to this and continue on with this history, because there's so much information that it's hard to just go. Because even just on this that the brother has here, the elder has here, just to get through that, it takes a lot. So with that, we're going to say shalom, and we'll see you in the next round.